First of all, as we know, there are several kinds of tests. Specifically in Ohio, there are teacher tests, there are district tests, and then there are district tests to meet state requirements, and then finally there are state mandated tests. With respect to teacher tests, there will always be tests in our schools because good teachers constantly test, assess, and check for understanding. Tests have always been and always will be a critical part of good teaching. As a teacher myself, I am constantly assessing and checking for understanding to make sure my students are learning what it is I'm trying to teach. So teacher tests are those tests created by educators to use in their classrooms. Assessments are very critical to teaching and learning because all good teachers use the results of their tests to drive daily instruction and to provide parents and students feedback on student progress and student performance. And obviously, these teacher-created tests are directly linked to a classroom lesson like a chapter test or a quiz or a final exam, and teachers rely heavily on formative and summative assessments to guide their teacher. And so far as I know, no one is suggesting that teacher tests should be curtailed or eliminated, so that's not where the controversy is. The second kind of tests are district tests. District tests are locally selected to satisfy a school district goal, not to meet any state requirement. Districts administer these tests to monitor or to benchmark student achievement across their buildings, across grade levels, or across or in particular classrooms. A very common example of a district test is the MAP, the Measures of Academic Performance test. Okay, so those are district tests. The third kind of tests are district tests that are administered solely to meet a state requirement because several state initiatives and several state programs such as teacher evaluation and gifted student identification mandate that districts test their students to meet these state requirements. Okay, and then the final kind of test are state tests that are selected by the state and administered to all public school children in Ohio to meet state or federal requirements. The Federal Elementary and Secondary Education Act, which is better known as the No Child Left Behind Act, requires each state to test all students in reading, math, and science. But No Child Left Behind, the federal government does not require or write any test, okay? It's left to each state as to what test to use. Historically, Ohio has used the Ohio Achievement Test, or Ohio Achievement Assessments, and the Ohio Graduation Test to satisfy No Child Left Behind. But this year, 2014-2015, last August, this school year that we're still in, Ohio transitioned to a new generation of assessments, what they call the new Ohio Achievement Assessments and end-of-course tests. The Partnership for Assessment for Readiness for College and Careers, also known as PARCC, that's the acronym, P-A-R-C-C, Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers, created Ohio's math and reading tests. Okay, and then Ohio, however, because there is no common core for science or social studies, Ohio developed its own tests in science and social studies using the American Institute for Research, AIR, or also known as AIR.